springtime in Vancouver and a springboard of opportunity for the Canadian men's gymnastics team as CBC is pleased to present the Pacific Alliance Gymnastics Championships. As we come inside now to the sports complex here in Burnaby, British Columbia. Hi everyone, I'm Terry Leibel. Welcome to the west coast of Canada. You know, 2 weeks ago the Europeans held their championships. Today the center of the gymnastics world is right here in Western Canada. China, Japan, Australia, the United States, and of course Team Canada are here for the Apparatus finals. 6 pieces of equipment, 6 opportunities for the Canadian men to test their skills against the best in the world. Keep in mind, this is a building block towards the Commonwealth Games this summer in Manchester, England, ultimately to next year's World Championships, where Canada must finish 12th or better to qualify for the next Olympic Games in Athens. So, as I say, a confidence booster, a building block, and with more on what we can expect from these championships, here are Mark Lee and 2-time Canadian Olympian Laurie Strong-Ballard.
Thank you, Terry. Well, the Canadians will be challenged today not just by the international world-class competition. They'll also be tested by a new code. They have raised the bar in international gymnastics. And, Laurie, with that in mind, what will the judges be looking for today?
Well, Mark, since the World Championships, the FIG has made some major adjustments to an already difficult new code of points. And this is a great opportunity for these athletes to test out their new routines in front of the international judges and to see how they compare against their biggest rivals. We're going to see some big gymnastics, some phenomenal routines here, but consistency is still a concern, so we could see some uncharacteristic crashes.
As Terry mentioned, the Canadian men as a team finished 12th at the last World Championships last year. They need to duplicate that next year to get to the Olympics for the first time in 16 years. The Commonwealth Games are on the horizon. So what's the goal for the Canadians today?
Well, a goal that will be weighing heavily on their mind over the next year will be strengthening their team, especially their depth, so that they can qualify a team to the Olympic Games. But tonight, it's a different story. It's about the individual. This is an event final, and without a doubt, Canada has a few top individuals who can compete with the best in the world. Their top all-around finisher was Grant Golding at the World Championships, and he's ranked #1 in the vault heading into this competition. But the slate is wiped clean, and they have to compete 2 different vaults, and that's a challenge for everyone. And Richard Aikita will show off his finesse and clean lines on high bar and parallel bars.
This field includes some decorated Olympians, but who should we keep our eye on?
I'd say the most prepared team here are the Americans. Paul Hom is one of the biggest tumblers in the world. He'll open his floor routine with a Super E, a double twisting, double layout. And that is one of the most difficult skills in the book. He also has 5 release moves planned on high bar. He's an exciting gymnast to watch. And his teammate Sean Towson, well, he's been affected a little bit more by the changes in the code. He even had to change up his parallel bar routine that won him the gold medal at the World Championships. He'll try to add another difficult element to give him that 10-0 start value, and with that, he could challenge for the gold. But he'll get a fight from 2 Chinese men who were on that Olympic gold medal team. They are phenomenal on parallel bars, could win several golds here, and possibly a 1-2 finish on their best event, the pommel horse.
So those are the leading men and the stakes at hand in a very important competition on Canadian soil. Terry?
All right then, Mark, our producer Donna Warner has a busy hour planned, including a look at Canada's master plan in anticipation of the next Summer Olympics in 2004. Laurie introduces us to a new piece of equipment in an original sport. And as I say, 6 men's event finals, and we begin with the rigors and arduous demands of the men's floor routine.
Terry leading off for Canada, Grant Golding. He was one of the top gymnasts to have come from the Abbotsford Twisters Club. A rising star until he hit a setback with a disappointing performance in the '99 World Championships. He almost quit gymnastics, but he's continued, and here he is today.
Fantastic opening pass combination. He'll gain valuable bonus. You know, Mark, Gymnastics Canada is very pleased to have him back on the team. He was their top all-around finisher at World Championships, and his gymnastics is getting better and better. It's tough, though, to go first in a final. Quite often the scores are a little bit lower at the start, unless, of course, you do a stunning routine and you set the standard for everyone else. Nice floor work there. It's called a Fedorchenko. He'll press up to handstand for his strength element. He must hold it for at least 2 seconds. Very nice job. It's also another required element. On floor in every event for the men, there are 5 requirements, and one of them here is a sideward or an Arabian style element, like we just saw. There's the bell. to finish. Last pass is a 2.5 to a front half. Nails the landing. A fantastic routine for Grant. He certainly set the standard there.
Well, a great way to start the Pacific Alliance Championships on the floor. A tremendous routine.
Start value was a 9.9 out of a possible 10. He gained valuable bonus points from this type of combination work right here. They can only do 2 tumbling passes and get credit for combination. And the last pass, legs were glued together on the 2.5. The front half was a little bit flat, but you can't get better on the landing.
So Grant Golding, Canada's best all-rounder, setting the standard here in the floor exercise with a score of 9.425, and he's happy about that. Next is Keisuke Shinahara of Yokohama City, Japan. In 1998, he was second all-round at the All-Japan Junior Championships, and now he steps up to the plate at the senior level.
This is a new face from Japan. He is the youngest member of the Japanese team here. He's showing some great potential. The 1.5 front layout. Rudy, tiny hop on the landing, but nice combination, good rhythm. Some of the men told me that this floor is a little bit hard, and it's been a struggle trying to put these combination passes together. There's the required Arabian skill. Nice flare work up to handstand, back down. It is Fedorchenko, that's 3 Russians. Very nice job.
Shinahara's specialties are the vault and pommel horse, but shows his all-round abilities to have qualified here in the individual floor exercise.
It's so tough with this new code of points to be a good all-around gymnast. The requirements are so stiff, and to be good and solid on 6 events, that's a tough job to do. Finishing up with a double twist, a little bit of a weak last pass. His difficulty is less than Grant's, about 5/10 less. That will hurt his score, but it was a clean routine. Most of his bonus came in this opening pass to 1.5 to front layout, right into a front 1.5. It's called a Rudy, a little tiny bit short on the landing, but very clean in the form. His legs were straight, his toes were pointed.
Keisuke Shinahara will be scored with 9.050 to sit him temporarily in second place behind Grant Golding of Canada. Here's Paul Hom, the 19-year-old representing the United States. He helped the USA men win an unprecedented silver medal in the team competition at last year's World Championships.
Paul's opening pass is a biggie. It's a super E, double twisting, double layout. Fantastic job. That is a tough skill. 1.5 front full. Rudy. Oh, step over the line. You can touch the line, but you notice his heel was over that line, which means a 1/10 deduction, a mandatory 10th deduction. He really shows it off here. His flare work, handstand, right into some breakdancing elements. Adds a little flair, a little finesse to the routine, makes him stand out from the rest.
Defying the laws of gravity.
Last breath before his final pass. It's also a big one. Double layout. Oh, it's flat.
Oh.
And he under-rotates. A huge miss.
So Paul Hom, the best all-around American, with trouble right at the finish.
He opened this routine very strong, showed some nice combination pass in the middle, but seemed to, he stepped out of bounds right there. You'll notice the line judge putting up the flag, signaling to the head judge that there will be a 10th deduction. Seemed to lose a little bit of power right here at the end for the double layout. Not enough height, under-rotates, and boy, does that sting the ankles.
The American, the last competitor to challenge Golding for the gold, and no, that last fall will be very troublesome for him as he finishes with 8.950. And so Grant Golding of Calgary is the winner of the floor exercise with a score of 9.425, and he's standing by right now with Terry.
Canada's Grant Golding, well, gold in the floor exercise. How sweet are those words?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, I came here just to do my job, which was go out there and hit my routine and hope for the best, you know. That's just what happened, so I can't ask for anything more.
We said at the top of the show, it's a stellar field. The Chinese, the Americans, the Australians. What a confidence booster for you going into the Commonwealth Games this summer.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, now I know that I can go out there, and if I hit my routines or my floor routine, I'm going to do exceptionally well. So I just got to go there and do that at the Commonwealth Games as well.
Grant, a golden performance, a real confidence booster. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Still to come in Vancouver, the men come to grips with the pommel horse.
Richard Aikita is Canada's gymnastics warrior. You're talking about a gymnast who's battled through his own injuries, through changing leadership in this country. But now, under new central coaching, he has responded, and so has the Canadian team. He's a man on a mission. He wants to lead the Canadian men's team to a place they have not been since 1988, the Olympic Summer Games.
The entire team's been different. It's new guys, fresh guys, younger guys. And their talent is different from the last teams that I've been on. Everyone on the last team sort of had similar strengths and weaknesses, whereas this team, we have different weaknesses and strengths. So it's sort of, as a team comes together, you have like everyone sort of spots everyone else. So you have a fuller team and more diverse. And I think that's the difference between this team and the last team.
This 2002 national squad has a new leader, Edward Yaroff, a visionary who brings international credentials and connections to the post.
He's from France. He's been around. He's used to be coach on the Russian team, so he knows what we need to do. So him coming over and starting to set this system in is really helpful, and you can already see the difference from last year to this year. So he's demanding more training camps, more international meets, and when we're getting them, so it really helps our confidence and our exposure. So I think the judges see that, and we get higher marks.
Richard Aikita is a 27-year-old veteran who leads by example, dedication, determination to get back to the Olympics one more time.
I would love to say that I was part of the team that got us to the 2004 Olympics. It's never been done for a long time, and I stuck around just for that. That's one of the main reasons I stuck around, to qualify a team, because I've been to Olympics as an individual, and it was great, but to have a team there would be just, the top of my career.
And with that in mind, the Pacific Alliance Championships is one of the most important international competitions on the gymnastics calendar.
And if there's one man that can take Canada to the Olympic Games, that's Edward Yaroff. He's probably one of the best hands-on coaches in the world.
Here's Quang Tung On of Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. First up, he led Malaysia to first place in the team competition at last year's Southeast Asian Games, and might he be a threat to the Chinese in this event?
Possibly. In a final, anything can happen. The Chinese have the best technique probably in the world on this event. But On is having a fantastic routine so far. Malaysia's not known as a powerhouse gymnastics nation, but I've been so impressed with this athlete at this competition. Finishing up strong, pirouetting to the dismount. Nice job. Very strong start.
Well, the pommel horse is his specialty, and Quang Tung On looked very sharp to lead off the competition.
Seeing some of his single pommel work, it is so difficult in terms of balance and hand placement. Every hand has to be placed on that single pommel blindly. His start value was a 9.8, fairly strong, and it was a clean routine. Should score well.
Yes, 9.375 for Quang Tung On of Malaysia, and he has the lead, and he sets the standard for David Kikuchi of Fall River, Nova Scotia, the only Canadian in this discipline. He was a member of the World Championship team that finished 12th last year, and part of the next generation hoping to join Richard Aikita at the Olympic Games in Athens.
And a great opportunity to fine-tune his pommel routine under pressure at such a prestigious competition. His best event, though, is the rings. He was 14th in the world at World Championships. Unfortunately, he had a disappointing preliminary routine and did not qualify to the final. He's doing a great job for Canada here, struggling right there. Little form break, but he hangs in there. What a tough competitor. Good job.
There's his dad, Tak Kikuchi, also his coach. Congratulations to David, winner of the all-round competition at the Jurassic Classic this year.
David had a nice strong start at the beginning, traveling down the horse. Then his single pommel work, very, very tight. There's his required scissor elements. Then he struggled a little bit at the end. Had a few form breaks. His start value is a little bit lower.
Tiring near the end, David Kikuchi with a score of 9.050. That will put him in second place right now, behind Kwang Tung An of Malaysia. Now the Chinese, Wei Yang, a member of the Olympic team in Sydney that won the team gold, and this man, the all-round silver medalist.
And he scored a 9.75 on this event in the preliminaries, the highest score of the day. Outstanding. Oh, you can see he's in trouble right there.
Oh.
Trying his Russians on the end of the horse. Shoulders way too far over. Simply could not pull it back.
A shocker here in Vancouver as the favorite, Wei Yang of China, is off the pommel horse.
We talked about it in the opening, expecting some uncharacteristic misses. This is a major uncharacteristic miss.
With determination now.
You can see his technique is wonderful. Beautiful straight legs. Scissors with a half. Hips way above the pommels. Nice, smooth. Finished up strong. That miss in the middle is definitely going to hurt.
Wei Yang of China with a high start value of 9.7 finishes his routine, but you can see the disappointment written on his face.
Not only will he lose the 5/10 for the fall, but his start value goes from a 10 to a 9.7. You see his shoulders were way over, lost form. Major break for one of the best pommel horse workers in the world.
Major deductions too. There's the score, 8.850, which drops Wei Yang right out of the competition. His teammate, Zhu Huang, gold medalist in the parallel bars, silver all-round at last year's Goodwill Games. He was also on that vaunted Chinese Olympic team that claimed gold.
That was an amazing team in Sydney. He scored a 9.7 in the preliminaries on this event. So he can still hold on to a gold medal. Oh,
He's
not
off too.
anymore. He is off. These are big misses.
Chinese coach can't believe it. Two of the top athletes out. Now, Wei Yang was a scratch earlier in the day, then a last-minute addition. You have to wonder if there was something wrong with him. But no excuses for Zhu Huang.
You know, China didn't send their A-team to World Championships. I think that they are working hard to try to bring back that form that we saw in Sydney.
Zhu Huang of China finishes up, but he too will be deducted severely for his miscue.
The one big criticism of the Chinese team has always been their consistency. There's really no excuse for a miss like this on their best event. See a single pommel work right there. He's in trouble, leaning way over to the left side.
And so Zhu Huang of China pays a price. His final score, 8.900. That will drop him all the way to fifth place. The favored Chinese not a factor in the pommel horse, as Kwang Tung An of Malaysia prevails with 9.375, and David Kikuchi of Nova Scotia hangs on to the bronze medal for Canada. And here's Terry now with the Canadian.
With Canada's David Kikuchi, a bronze in the pommel horse. I know your heart's in the rings, but a bronze in the pommel is not too bad. What did your dad, who coaches you, say?
Well, after my routine, he just thought it was a really good routine, and a little mistake at the end, but the rest was really good. So I made my routine, which is what I was trying to do.
In terms of building towards the Commonwealth Games, what does this say, this bronze, about where you're at?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to get stable routines right now, so it's good that I made it, and that's a little bit of a confidence boost going into Commonwealth.
Congratulations. David Kikuchi, bronze here at the championships.
Thank you.
Still to come, high caliber and courage on the rings.
drive to the east from Vancouver is Burnaby, BC, where we continue coverage of gymnastics. A reminder, coming up next, St. Louis in Detroit. The Red Wings with a 3-1 game lead in that series across the full network at 3 Eastern. Mark?
Terry, back inside the Bill Copeland Sports Center as we get set for a battle between China and the USA. In the rings, the Olympic gold and silver medalists from Sydney, and this is Wei Yang of China, the all-round silver medalist in the all-round competition at Sydney and trying to recover from a disastrous pommel horse.
This is a great opportunity to reestablish himself as one of the best in the world. Remember, a lot of these judges who are judging here will also be at the World Championships in 2003. Nice inverted cross, up to a Maltese cross, nice lift of the head. Showing pretty nice control. Front giant swing to a handstand. It's one of the requirements to show a handstand in control out of a giant swing. We saw him have to muscle out that handstand. Nice dismount, double layout, sticks the landing, just that small break in that last handstand. Almost a mental error there.
Wei Yang of China awaiting his score. A much improved performance over the pommel horse.
Positions are nice in his strength elements, but I'd like to see him hold it a little bit longer. The judges want to see a distinct 2-second hold in each strength position.
His muscles and bones flex to their limits, and there's his score, 9.575, and the lead temporarily belongs to Wei Yang.
A big start to this final.
Now his teammate, Zhu Huang, member of that strong Chinese team that dominated the world 2 years ago in Sydney, also trying to improve on a lackluster effort in the last event.
A kip to a Maltese cross. Nice long 2-second hold, back roll up to an L cross. A little bit high there. And another Maltese cross. Into his L cross. Very well done. Nice combination of strength elements. No repetition of elements is permitted on this event, except for the strength elements. You can do each one twice. Into a handstand in his dismount, a double layout, nails the landing. Excellent job.
Zhu Huang of China challenging his own teammate Wei Yang, who is the leader right now.
Well, Mark, I still may get my 1-2 Chinese finish, just not on the pommel horse, perhaps here on the rings. Nice iron cross, a straight line from one hand through the shoulders to the other hand. Great job.
And Laurie, there's the new leader, Zhu Huang, with a score of 9.750 to move ahead of Wei Yang, also of China. Some relief and satisfaction on his face as we await the Americans. This is Paul Hom, the 19-year-old from Waukesha, Wisconsin. He helped the U.S. men's team to an unprecedented silver medal at last year's World Championships. He was 7th all-round personally, the best all-round finish for an American male.
Paul and Sean Towson from the U.S. were actually in the running for that all-around title at World Championships until they both missed their high bar routine. What a devastating end to a tremendous competition. Look at the strain in his face. He is working extremely hard. The new code really rewards these strength elements. We're seeing a lot less swing elements. But Paul has a very nice double pike between the bars. It's called a kuzgoni. The D element. He'll finish up strong with a full twisting double layout. Slight hop on the ending. He added a little extra difficulty to that dismount.
Judges asking for more risk, asking them to raise the bar in their routines, and Paul Hom comes through today.
I think the Chinese had better positions in their strength elements and had a little bit more control of the rings. But Paul showed a nice variety of skills in this routine. He should score well.
Final score for Paul Hom from the United States.
9.375 for Paul Hom, so that will sit him in third place right now behind the two Chinese.
Number 127 from the United
Next is
States,
Sean Townsend from Dallas, Texas. He is the U.S. national champion all round and in this event, the rings.
And Mark, this has been the most competitive final so far. We've seen high difficulty, all 10-0 start values, and less mistakes than we saw on the floor in pommels. Kip to a Maltese cross. Lever right into his iron cross. I'd like to see him hold that a little bit longer. Pressing back up to his Maltese. That's a much better iron cross.
Last chance for the Americans to challenge the Chinese.
Giants to his handstand, a requirement. Showing nice control. And the dismount, double layout, nails the landing, very clean. I don't think it'll beat the Chinese, but a possibility to beat Paul Hom, his teammate. Very difficult combination here. Maltese to a lever into his iron cross, a little bit high. Needs to hold it a slight bit longer.
Sean Townsend, a finalist for the Sullivan Award last year as U.S. Amateur Athlete of the Year. A 9.550 will move him ahead of Paul Hom into third place. Not enough to move ahead of the Chinese. And so here are the final standings. It's Zhu Wang first, Wei Yang second, and Sean Townsend third for the bronze medal in the rings. When we come back to Vancouver, reaching new heights on the new vault.
Deep into the competition from Burnaby, British Columbia, just to the east of the city center of Vancouver, as we continue gymnastics and tap into Laurie Strong-Ballard's knowledge in her edition of Chalk Talk.
They soar, they fly and flip, and hopefully a perfect stick. Since the debut of the new vaulting table at the 2001 World Championships, this most explosive event has soared to new heights. New vaults were premiered in Ghent, others were executed with extraordinary amplitude, like world champion Marion Dragulescu's double front half out, a vault that requires sheer guts to even attempt. The men have made a smooth transition to this new, sleek, innovative piece of equipment. Every aspect of the new vaulting table complements men's style of vaulting. The old horse was only 32 inches wide, much too narrow for their wide shoulders, so a lot of their blocking power was diverted out to the sides. Now with the larger base, they can get a wider handstance, and that means making full use of their blocking potential, combined with a slight ramp of the table, and they rocket into the air for more flips and twists. Also, the larger surface area means a secure hand placement that increases safety, decreases the fear factor, which directly results in bigger and more aggressive vaults. The women, on the other hand, have been slightly slower in adjusting to the new apparatus. There's no question. Most prefer the new table, and safety has improved, but the women have had to make a few technical changes to their vaulting style. One major change concerns the pre-flight. Many tended to use the lip of the old horse to initiate a secure block, but now they're forced to adjust their hand placement further down the longer vault, change the angle of entry, and adapt to blocking from a flatter surface. The new vaulting table is the most dramatic gymnastics innovation in the last century. Start values of a 10 are becoming more attainable as the vaulting daredevils have raised the expectations of this event to new heights.
And today they'll attempt two difficult vaults from two different vault families as these men try to generate more power, more height, more distance. This is Yoshihiro Ogawa of Japan.
The vaulting table has allowed them to do bigger and better vaults, but it is still quite a challenge to get two high start value vaults from different families. A double front, it scored out of a 9.8. It's actually 3 revolutions before hitting the feet. He didn't open in time for the landing.
Ogawa was the 5th all-rounder at last year's All-Japan Gymnastics Championships.
Fantastic technique. He rockets off the horse. Plenty of height, and his form is excellent. He just didn't open for the landing.
So he scores a 9.075 on his first vault. He'll do one more. They'll average them for his final score.
He has an advantage here because the second vault is a pretty high start value. Souk double, scored out of a 9.7. Very clean in the air. Tiny hop on the landing. This should score very well.
The vault and the parallel bars are Ogawa's specialties, and he looked very smooth here.
Fantastic position. Even with the hop, I really like his discipline on holding that landing position and showing proper technique there.
A higher score for his second vault. The average gives him 9.225, and the lead for Yashiro Ogawa of Saitama, Japan. This is Raul Ramirez of the Philippines, representing a small team at this event, the Pacific Alliance Championships, traveling all the way from the Philippines.
You see a nice variety of great athletes from all over the world at this competition. Souk double full, a little directional problem there. You can see as he landed with 1 foot over the directional line. That's 1/10, but a very strong vault. He's a quick, athletic gymnast. Same vault that we saw Yashiro Ogawa do on his second attempt, the Souk double twist. Very good distance as well.
And the score for vault 1 for Ramirez, 9.125. So a higher score for his first vault than Ogawa of Japan.
He has a planned Yurchenko double. You'll see the round off onto the board. 2 twists, very clean in the air. Again, a slight directional problem.
So a slight deduction for that landing just outside the line.
This vault looks the same as the first one, but the round-off entry onto the board, it's called a Yurchenko, makes it a different family. So that is why he can compete those 2 different vaults.
And so an average of 9.262 for Raul Ramirez of the Philippines. And that will put him in second place right now behind Ogawa of Japan. Here's Grant Golding of Canada. He won the gold in the floor exercise. Canada's best all-rounder in his first vault.
Souk double twist, very nice. Step to the side, but he stayed within the lines. Great job. He scored a 9.475 in the preliminaries. That was the highest vaulting score. Same first vault that Royale did. The double twist, just that side step.
Grant Golding with the highest score of the day so far, 9.450 in his first vault.
Unfortunately, his second vault has a very low start value. It's only scored out of an 8.6. Handspring front pike, and his hand slips on the horse. He misses his block. He was lucky to pull that around to his feet.
Grant Golding chatting with his coach, Gennady Gribanov.
Grant told me that it wasn't a priority. It wasn't his biggest concern to have a high start value on his second vault. For the team competition and the all-around competition, you only need 1 vault. He's got a fantastic double twisting Souk, and that is where his priorities are.
And marked down for that, 8.025. And so for the average, 8.737 drops Grant Golding into third place. Here's Paul Hom of the United States. Twin brother Morgan, also on the national team and Olympic team. He's currently rehabilitating a shoulder injury. He and his brother made history when they became the first twins to compete at the Olympic Games in gymnastics.
2 spark plugs for this American team, and a fantastic first vault. That's the double front. Scored out of a 9.8, and boy, did he get some height.
Stacy Maloney is coached like the look of that.
He's known to be a powerful leg event man. We saw him on floor exercise. He did miss that last pass, but here on vault, fantastic first vault. And he does have a high start value for his second vault.
Score of 9.550 puts him in the lead after 1 vault.
He'll do the Souk double here. Oh, and he nails it. That's the cleanest one we've seen today.
Paul Hom with a beautiful landing, and now awaits his 2 vault average.
2 high start values, cleanly executed. I'd say that's enough for the gold. Nails the landing. What discipline.
Well, his father was an All-American diver, and you can see where the genes have paid off here in the gymnastics world. Another 9.55 with an average of 9.55, and the lead to Paul Hom with 2 incredible vaults. And so the final standings show Hom in first place for gold, Ramirez of the Philippines for silver, and Ogawa of Japan for bronze. Grant Golding of Canada coming 5th. When we come back, the dust settles in the parallel bars final.
We've seen some outstanding action among the men in event finals. Next Saturday, the women get their turn as we continue from Burnaby, BC. Mark?
Thanks, Terry, and we move on to the parallel bars. This is Keisuke Shinahara, the youngster from Yokohama City, Japan.
Sidebar mount, straddle press to handstand. Peach basket, nice locked out elbows into a double pike. Diamidov into a double tuck. Very nice rhythm throughout this routine so far, and tremendous body positions in all of his handstands. Taking a pause, double back to his upper arms. Slight adjustment there. Into the dismount, double tuck, small hop. Very clean, nice routine, good start.
Keisuke Shinahara of Japan already has a silver medal in the floor exercise, looking to add another medal to his repertoire here.
Taking a look at the Diamidov right there, a giant full. Into his double tuck on upper arms. You can see the importance of staying between those two bars. A lot of risk involved in that element.
Start value of 10 and a score of 9.70 for Shinahara of Japan.
9.70.
That is the score to beat, and he's pretty happy about that. Zhu Huang of China is next. Team gold medalist in the World Championships in '99, Olympic Games in Sydney.
This is Peach basket. To a double pike, same combination we just saw Shinahara start his routine off with. The Healy. The Healy is actually one of the elements that was upgraded since the World Championships. Double pike to upper arms. Again, showing off that beautiful Chinese technique. His double saltos between the bars are extremely high. Oh, small mental error right there on a very simple element. Double pike nails the landing. A fantastic routine up until that small arch in his back in the handstand.
His only flaw in a routine that matched Shinahara in risk and difficulty.
I love his double pike between the bars. He actually flares it open before catching the bars with his upper arms. There's the double tuck. Very clean lines.
And the final score for Zhu Huang of China, 9.75 to move him ahead of Shinahara of Japan and into first place.
Our next competitor.
Next up, Sean Townsend, the world champion in parallel bars and the first American male to win an individual medal in gymnastics since '79.
Well, I had a really comfortable routine, and a routine that I was well known because I've done it plenty of times, and I was really confident about it. And after prelims, I was leading. I was in first place, and so I knew I had a pretty good chance of medaling. So I went out there. I was a little mad from all-around finals, so I wanted redemption really bad, and so I just went there, nothing to lose, and went for it, and I ended up winning.
And now with the new code, the new rules, Sean will have to change his routine, so he'll be taking a risk here with the new degree of difficulty, Laurie.
And needless to say, this new routine won't be comfortable. One of the elements that he did in his World Championship routine was devalued after Worlds, so he has to add another difficult element. He didn't do it in the preliminaries, but he said he's going for it here. He wants that 10-0 start. Here it is. Oh, not even close. He was attempting a peach basket with a half. It's way off.
You have to wonder if he lost his concentration or if he psyched himself out.
I don't think so. I think that he was simply off. This is a new element. He hasn't had the time to put the numbers into it in the gym. He needs to go back and practice hard to try and get that element consistent and be able to compete it under pressure. It's important to come back strong now. Giant to a double pike. There's the peach basket. Into a double tuck. Looks a little rush through this routine, and he's losing form right there. Big arch in his back. Oh, a definite loss of concentration here. Double pike, very disappointing for the world champion.
So Sean Townsend of the United States falling on his new move. Appeared to throw him off throughout the entire routine.
I said it earlier, though, this is going to be a great learning experience for every athlete here. Here's the big move. It's supposed to be a peach basket to a half. He wanted to go to handstand with a half turn. He was definitely off.
And he has scored accordingly. 8.35 puts him at the bottom. Here's Richard Ikeda of Canada, the current national champion. He's been one of Canada's top male gymnasts for more than a decade.
Richard's known for his clean lines and doesn't have extraordinary high difficulty, but it's often hard to find form deductions, which is the responsibility of that B panel. He's a tall gymnast, nice clean lines, straight legs. There's a stutz to a stalder press to handstand. Forward roll showing his upper arm work. It's a requirement. Oh, fantastic dismount. Clean double pike.
Richard Ikeda receiving congratulations from one of his coaches, Takahashi Kobayashi.
Taking a look at his forward roll to upper arms, the required element. Just needs to add a little bit more difficulty to this routine. Bring up that start value because the form deductions are so minimal.
Laurie, his start value, the lowest at 9.3. There's the score, 8.9. It puts him ahead of Sean Townsend, but will leave him 5th overall in the parallel bars competition. The winner, Zhu Huang of China. In 2nd place, Shinohara of Japan, and Ogawa in 3rd for Japan. Still to come, gymnastics high wire act. That's when we come back. Welcome back to the Bill Copeland Sports Center in Burnaby, BC, as we get set for the horizontal bar competition. And Paul Ham is our first competitor. He's already won the all-round competition and is looking for his 2nd individual medal after winning the gold in the vault.
Opens the routine big. Huge release move here. You can see him winding up. It's called a Coleman. It's a full twisting double back over the bar, and he does it with ease. And there's more planned here. Tkachev straight to a Tkachev. And he's watered down his routine slightly. He normally can add 2 more release moves in combination right there. He's going to take a lower start value. The clean routine, double twisting, double layout. Tiny step on the landing.
And his coach, Stacy Maloney, knows that will be hard to beat.
Seems as if the best strategy here at these finals is to go easy and hit clean. But there's nothing simple about this release move. It's a super E, the Coleman. But overall, this routine was a little bit easier than he can do. There's the straight Tkachev into the straddle Tkachev, missing 2 other release moves that he can possibly do to give him that 10-0 start value.
Final score for Paul Ham of the United States, 9.25. Who can match that? Here's Richard Ikeda, Canada, native of Abbotsford, BC. Takahashi Kobayashi helping him to the horizontal bar. Mentioned earlier, he hopes this will be a stepping stone to help lead this team to the Olympic Games in Athens.
We're going to see a different style of routine from Richard than we saw from Paul. Less release moves, more combination work. Here's his 1 required release move. Beautiful straight Tkachev. Giant full. Double twisting, double layout. Great dismount. What a nice finale.
Same start value as Paul Ham, a 9.6. We'll see what the judges reward Richard Ikeda with.
Richard gained a lot of bonus through his combination work. And of course, here's his major release move, a sky-high straight Tkachev. But I think the highlight of the routine was the dismount. 2 twists, 2 flips in a laid out position. He flares it out, sees the landing, and nails it.
Sixth the landing. Final score for Richard Aikita, 9.10. And so that will put him in second place right now, right behind Paul Hom. This is Damien Istria, 21-year-old from Brisbane, Australia. And this Australian gymnastics program continues to get stronger with every year.
We've seen the women over the past several years become much stronger, and now we're seeing the men pick it up. This in-bar stoop. One of the elements that was devalued since World Championships is called the Zulaman. So we're seeing a lot of them take it out of their routines and have to add other difficulty, big difficulty right there. It's like a Stalder Tkachev with a full twist. It's called a Suarez. And the dismount, another double twisting double, big struggle on the landing.
Likely some costly deductions for that dismount.
We saw him pointing at the mat, telling his coach that it popped up. He was unable to take that step back on the dismount. But this element was outstanding. It's called a Suarez, and it's a super E. Big bonus. Let's go, show! See how the mat pops up right there for his landing? Several tenths deduction.
Final score for Damien Istria.
And Damien Istria with a score of 9.05, so that means Richard Aikita is still in a medal position in the horizontal bar. Zhu Huang of China, one of the favorites, one of the best gymnasts in this competition.
Looking to beat that 9.25 from Paul Hom. It's a Healy to eagle position. An endo to another Healy. In-bar elements. Struggling a little bit right there. You can hear him grunting, trying to push through this routine. Here we go. Straight to Tkachev. Very nicely done. Only the dismount left. Double twisting, double layout, 2 steps in the landing, 2 tenths deduction right there. But a strong start value, a 9.9 start value. Tremendous combination within this routine.
Zhu Huang looking for his 3rd gold medal in these event finals.
He had a slow start on the pommel horse, but has come back very strong. Showing the combination work there. Here comes his endo circle. Into a Healy in that eagle grip. He struggled slightly right here, not really pushing through the shoulders to a top vertical position. There's his release move, the straight to Tkachev, sky high, way above the bar. And of course the dismount, double twisting, double layout. Small steps on the landing.
Final score for Zhu Huang of China, 9.25, identical to Paul Hom of the USA. So they finish in a tie for the gold. Huang with 3 golds in these event finals. Hom with 2, and Richard Aikita of Canada holds on to win the bronze, and he's standing by with Terry.
Richard Aikita, you said off camera earlier in the week that you're a man on a mission. You want to lead this Canadian team all the way, hopefully, to the Olympic Games. That performance on the high bar goes a long way to doing that. Let's talk about the performance first.
Well, I was really happy with today's performance. It was a lot better than the first day preliminary. So I just, I actually just went up there, focused, pushed really hard, and everything's fell in place. So it was just, it was a good day.
As a team veteran for the team, I am assigning you the spokesperson assignment for these games, for these championships. All in all, how do you think the Canadians performed?
I think we performed pretty good, actually. Today we pulled in a lot of medals, and I think, as time goes on, like next competition's Commonwealth Games, I think we're just going to build on what we have here. So, there's no stopping us, I think.
Richard Aikita, you are so right. Momentum in Canada's favor in anticipation of this summer's Commonwealth Games in Manchester, England. For Mark Lee, Laurie Strong-Ballard, all of our production and technical crew, I'm Terry Leibel. Hockey Night in Canada is next.